As a boss rush game, where the main goal is to defeat a series of bosses, having only one boss is pretty bad. My game also did not have any progression yet, so after some pretty careful deliberation, each boss will unlock a specific rune for the player when defeated. The player will start with the first 3 runes in the rune viewer, and the first boss's unlock rune will be the Madness rune. Now that some of the progression of my game is planned out, it's time to add more bosses to my game. To first create a boss, I needed a design, and one thing that Norse mythology is known for is its giants, specifically its frost giants. With frost giants as the main design choice of the second boss, it is time for me to actually design the boss fight. The main theme of this boss fight is permanence, where the player first fights 2 bosses that leave permanent/semi-permanent attacks. They will then fight one last boss which will also have the permanent attacks from the previous 2 bosses. The first phase of this boss is more melee focused and will focus on closing in on the player. The first attack of this phase is the boss jumping at the player, creating a permanent frost circle that slows down the player while also shooting out extra bullets. The second attack is a 3 shockwave trail towards the player. The third attack is spawning icicles that fall from the sky and create smaller slowing fields. The fourth attack of this phase is shooting out random bullets and then shooting out waves of it after moving towards the player. The second phase of this boss is focused more on range attacks and will generally attack the player from far away. The first attack of this phase is summoning a semi-permanent ice structure that spawns ice spheres that chase after the player. The second attack is throwing a large ice chunk at the player, which upon landing creates a circle of bullets. The third attack is throwing 3 sets of ice chunks at the player, which when collided with will shatter into multiple ice shards. The fourth attack of this phase is the boss moving towards the player, while also shooting out projectiles. The last phase of this boss does not move around as much and is more focused on summoning. The first attack of this phase summons ice spikes that stay and block the player's movement until they are destroyed by the player. These ice spikes split into ice shards when destroyed. The second attack is throwing a large ice chunk at the player, which upon landing creates a circle of bullets and a frost circle that disappears after a few seconds. The third attack of this boss is summoning 6 ice spirits around the arena. The fourth attack of this phase is the boss jumping towards the player and shooting out 3 trailing bullets that split into more trailing bullets. The next boss I created is the Kraken from Nordic mythology, a terrifying giant sea monster that devours ships. It is better known today as the Kraken. This boss will also have 3 phases, just like the previous boss. As the Kraken, it must have tentacles, and the tentacles that this boss spawns have 4 attacks. These tentacles also give the boss a 10% damage reduction when alive and can be killed by the player. The first attack is a shockwave trail towards the player. The second attack is shooting out 3 bullets towards the player. The third attack is throwing an ice chunk at the player, which creates a circle of bullets upon landing. The fourth attack is a tentacle going underwater and then going towards the player, doing damage. In phase 1, the Kraken has 5 attacks. The first attack of this phase is summoning tentacles. The second attack is shooting a spread of bullets at the player. The third attack is shooting a slow-moving big bullet that stops in the middle of the arena and then spins while shooting out smaller bullets. The fourth attack is shooting a lot of bullets at the player without any spread. The fifth attack of this phase creates 3 tentacles on either stage. The boss then unleashes a wave that covers the entire arena except for behind these 3 tentacles. After the boss is defeated for the first time, it goes underwater and summons 15 tentacles. Once these are defeated, or after about 20 seconds, the boss will appear again, starting the last phase. During phase 3, the previous 5 attacks from phase 1 are upgraded and 2 new attacks are added. The first new attack of this phase shoots a large homing attack behind the boss, which will then home in on the player. The second new attack of this phase is the boss going underwater and then summoning tentacles. After a few seconds, the boss will resurface. The white bar of the boss bar now won't deplete when the boss is still taking damage. This was added after some community feedback. Some future things I have planned are a proper level select for my game, obviously more bosses and runes, and perhaps also some graphical improvements for my game. One change I might make to a current boss in the game would be to the Kraken boss. That change would be making the damage reduction more apparent, as the current indication is not very clear. So Kraken also doesn't feel very fair when playtesting. If you have any suggestions, please write them in the comments. And this is all I really have for this devlog.